Hello there. I just wanted to pop in with a very quick video to show you this Fabriano Multipaper that I actually use for printing my printables like inkjet or laser prints at home. And I wanted to share because it is fountain pen friendly paper. So many of the people who are in the United States, they often use or want fountain pen friendly paper in their planners or in their ring planners. And they often talk about using the Kokuyo paper, business paper, I believe. But here in Europe, that is actually not very accessible, or at least not accessible economically unless you're ordering straight from Japan. Uh, so I'm always on the hunt looking for things that are easy to find here in Europe, and I am specifically located in Italy. And Fabriano obviously is an Italian brand, and there's lots of different types of papers, and they also have artistic papers as well, like sketchbooks, things like that. But this specific line, Fabriano Multipaper, is meant for digital printing. It's very bright white, it's smooth, and great for printing, color prints at home. And they also, it comes in all GSMs. So like the 80 GSM, 100 GSM, 120, 160, 200. Those are the ones that I've seen. I think also 300. So you can really take your pick. And the thing that's amazing is that I was told that it's fountain pen friendly. So I took out a sheet and did my fountain pen test with my usual set of fountain pens that I personally have and use, from a super thick 1.1 nib, like stub nib, to the extra fines that I usually use, as well as testing the gel pens and ballpoint and a brush marker. And they all perform so well. The paper is very smooth, so it's actually very enjoyable to write on. And there's zero bleed through, like zero. It's amazing, even with the stub nib and even with sort of like coloring a whole section of ink you see on the right hand side there. Zero bleed through. I'm not talking about slight bleed through in points where like you rest your pen or something like that. No, literally zero bleed through. There is slight ghosting because I am using the 100 GSM in this particular example. Of course, if you don't want the ghosting, you probably want to go even a higher GSM maybe, but really the important point is that there is zero bleed through, and maybe it has something to do with the fact that if this paper is meant for color printing, and usable on both sides as advertised, then it must have some kind of special coating or something like that that makes it take the ink well, which is why the fountain pens work well on it, right? Ink and ink. And so the reason why I wanted to share is because for many of us in different parts of the country, and maybe we are unable to find brands and paper types that people talk about online that are easily accessible, in the United States, consider looking at the papers in your country that are meant for digital printing. It still costs like a little bit more than just like cheap copy paper, but this Fabriano Multipaper, 100 GSM, a pack of 500 sheets, it costs less than the Kokuyo paper would cost, in America on Amazon.com. So it doesn't necessarily have to be something that costs a lot. So I just wanted to share that for those of us who use fountain pens and maybe want paper in our stash that is just works really well with fountain pen without issues, and it's a relatively normal paper. So check that out at your local stationery shop. Just anything that is meant for digital printing, like ink, color printouts, it might possibly be fountain pen friendly, so you can test it out. So I'm really happy to have found this alternative because it's just a regular type of paper that we can find here in office supply shops. And I don't need to go searching for anything super expensive, and it really doesn't cost so much more than actual copy paper. So, you could literally just use this normally if you're always printing color photos as well. It's just your staple paper. Obviously, the price is cheaper if I were to try like less than 100 GSM, because I had bought this originally for printing out actual like color printouts that I will be using like in memory keeping or in my crafting. So that's why it's 100 GSM. But the next time around when I need to resupply, I'm probably going to try the lower GSMs and see if they're just as fountain pen friendly. And I assume it is if it's still meant for like color photocopies, but maybe it might have trouble with the stub nib. I don't know, but this one literally zero bleed through, slight glow sting as expected, but can be used on both sides and no issues. So I just wanted to share that in case anyone has had this sort of issue, and just look around your country, your shops, and really explore. And you might be able to find something that is affordable and works perfectly fine. So that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching.